Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Spontaneous Brilliance podcast. Today, let's talk about perfect. I hear the word perfect a lot, and it often means two completely different things. So there's perfect as in without flaws, right? And that the Oxford Dictionary says perfect is having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics as good as is possible to be, absolute, complete, completely free from faults or defects, or as close to such a condition as possible. Okie dokie. That's perfection, right? In the Oxford Dictionary. So there is perfect that means without flaws. But I also find that I use the word perfect a lot, and I hear people use the word perfect a lot to mean exactly as it should be, exactly as I want it to be, exactly as I desire it to be. And that's the one that I think is important for us to acknowledge. We get hung up in perfectionism, and perfectionism is the creation of the protective personality. It's a monkey concept. The closer you get to the perfect climbing of the tree, the safer you are. The safer you are from criticism, the safer you are from disappointment, the safer you are from having to try to do anything else, right? But each person is their own perfect. You are your own perfect because your perfect contains your bliss. Your perfect comes from what brings you joy. Your perfect comes from your passion, from just as you desire it to be. Your perfect is not the one that someone else chooses for you, right? A giraffe in a tree may have experienced perfect according to that monkey, but the giraffe doesn't feel perfect, right? The giraffe is not experiencing their bliss if they're stuck in a tree. The giraffe did not find the love for them. The love for them, they're standing on the ground, right? So this is not their perfect. Their perfect is unique to them, not what the monkey judges as perfect. The giraffe's perfect is the giraffe's perfect. Your perfect is unique. Just as your genius, your creativity, your bliss is, they're all yours. They're yours to discover, they're yours to choose, yours to embrace, yours to accept, yours to offer, yours to make use of to help other folks look good and experience good things, right? They're yours to use to overcome obstacles. You deserve perfect. You're perfect. And a lot of times we think that is selfish, right? Because of the connotations placed around the concept of perfection. To want perfection, we've been told that's a little much to ask for, right? And so we hear that phrase all the time, oh, it's all good. It's all good, as a kind of a way of over accepting. Right? We're supposed to accept every offer, right? But that doesn't mean we're supposed to agree with every offer. Let me always remind you of that. Accepting doesn't mean acquiescing to. And so when we accept it as an offer into our life, that doesn't mean it's our perfect. And it doesn't mean that we need to go, oh, that's okay. It's all good when something goes horribly wrong in a moment, because that horribly wrong is an offer. Whatever that event is, or that circumstance, or that reaction from someone else is, or the reaction inside our own mind, we don't have to say it's all good. I was always annoyed by that phrase. It's it's kind of a new agey phrase in recent years to say, oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And even as Pollyanna as I am as a human being, which is pretty freaking Pollyanna, I got to tell you, you may have noticed that. Even as Pollyanna as I am and am accused of being all the time, and it's accurate, I don't like the phrase, it's all good, because that is used to blow off the need to offer into something, the need to step out and make an offer back, right? It's not just accepting. There's a technique in improvisation called over accepting, right? And it makes a scene ridiculous when you over accept something. When you see it in skit comedy all the time, when somebody over accepts something to the extreme. It might be funny, it might be ridiculous, it might be outrageous, but it's not honest for that person to get to express themselves authentically. So if you accept everything as happening for us, not to us, it doesn't mean that everything is sunshine and roses. Obstacles and challenges that we face in life are often very, very hard, and we wouldn't characterize them as good. And when we force ourselves to go, no, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, you lost your job. It's all good. No, it's not. It's a big, hairy obstacle. That doesn't mean that I am not being given in that obstacle an opportunity to embrace that obstacle and transcend that challenge and grow and learn and be and do and learn to be the best I can be in that moment. Obstacles and challenges don't have to be happy or something we could characterize as good to be perfect, because remember, we're talking about perfect. Perfect, in the way I want to look at it, is perfect means just as it should be. And that comes from embracing each moment as an offer. Remember, the universe only offers. There is no such thing as the universe blocking us. Humankind has a tendency to want to go, oh, I guess that was meant to be, or I guess that wasn't meant to be, or I guess it's God's will, or whatever. And that's a way of sort of abdicating our response-ability to make it perfect, to find the perfect, our perfect. Remember, each person's perfect is as unique as they are, as unique as their creativity is, as unique as their creative genius is, as unique as their brilliance is. Remember what Shakespeare said in Hamlet, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So good or bad is really unimportant. What is important is what you do with it, how you offer into it, and that you don't block your own ability to offer by going, it's all good. Well, that's as good as the other thing. No, it's not. Your passion is pulling you toward the thing that's good, right? Jesus said thousands of years ago, it is done unto you as you believe. So believe that you deserve your perfect. The universe only offers. We are the ones who establish the form and the effect of that offer based on what we believe. And if we believe that our obligation is to identify crappy circumstances as good, then we are selling ourselves short. We're selling our experience short. The universe offers what our production is asking for. And remember, you're the playwright. You're the one writing the story. You are the director. It means you're the one holding the vision. You are the character, the egoic self being played here on the great stage of life, and you are the player. You are your soulful self that is manifesting in, as, and through this character. You are that little shard of source energy. That's what you are. So you are perfect. You are perfect. You are just as you should be. That does not mean you are without what other people might determine to be much or not enough. And so therefore, their version of perfect, they're seeing through a very narrow perspective. They're thinking perfect means without flaws in their judgment of what is flaws. But we're not going to think that way. We're not going to think of perfect as without flaws by anybody's judgment. But we are going to think of perfect as exactly as we are meant to be. And I'm going to go one further. I'm going to take one word out of that sentence. I said perfect is exactly as we are meant to be. I'm going to say perfect is we are exactly as we meant to be. As we, when we chose to come into this lifetime as this character on the great stage of life, we meant to be born as this human being that we are here. So you are perfect. You are perfectly you, absolutely perfect. And this is where your imaginative, creative response gets to kick in. You are what you offered to the world. And for this time, in this place, you're here for a reason. And you are absolutely perfect, perfectly suited to meet that purpose that you came here to bring to fruition. So get yourself busy. Get out there and bring that perfect passion to perfect fruition through the perfectness that is you, utilizing your perfectly unique creative genius. You are brilliant. Trust the perfection that you meant it to be, and therefore you are. Live your life as if acting is behaving as if, behaving truthfully in imaginary circumstances. So live your life as if you are the perfect you. You are here to perfectly bring into being that which you came here to be, do, and share. What if that's true? And you live your life in every moment as though you are this perfect offering. And you trust that, and you honor that, and you respect that, and you respect that your unique creative genius is absolutely brilliant and perfect. Then you can't help but have an exciting day every day. When you open your eyes, you're opening your eyes on a new day to face it perfectly as your perfect, brilliant self. Now, you might be chuckling or resisting that in your mind, but what on earth would make us want to stick with that idea that we have learned after we were born, to resist that? To resist thinking of ourselves as perfect, to resist thinking of our passions as perfect, to resist thinking of ourselves as unique creative geniuses. What makes it so hard for us to believe that we are perfect versions of spirit expressing in this character on the great stage of life? Why don't we look in the mirror and know that we're looking at a genius? Why don't we tell each other that we're brilliant? Why don't we tell ourselves that we're brilliant? Why is that so foreign? Why don't we know we're perfect? Well, as you know, why is a non-question. Why is just the ego looking for justification? Whenever we hear why over and over again, we know that the answer is because the ego is involved in this somehow. And our ego is not flying the plane. Our soul is in charge here. Our soul is the player, came here to be, do, and share. So trust that that is who you truly are. Trust that you are perfect, just as you meant to be. All right, my friends, that was a fun little exploration of perfect, and I'm so glad you came to join me for that. Go have a perfectly glorious, blessing-filled rest of your week, and I will talk to you again soon. The Spontaneous Brilliance podcast is brought to you by Miracle Communications Group. Our producer is Michelle Oneida. Sound engineer is Corey Michaels at Corey Michaels Productions. Music is composed by Rex Miller. And I'm your host, Sandra Kavanaugh. You can learn more about me and all things Spontaneous Brilliance at sandrakavanaugh.com or spontaneousbrilliance.com. And please join the conversation here at the Spontaneous Brilliance podcast by emailing us at podcast@spontaneousbrilliance.com. And have a beautiful, glorious, blessing-filled day.